Ravens flock. The flock rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.
What up, Ravens fans? Welcome into a live edition of the Flock Rundown. Got a special guest back on the channel. Hendo, what's up, man, from the Rogue Pod? How are you doing?
I am well. Thank you for doing this because, if it weren't for you, I wouldn't be live streaming right now.
No, I'm trying to go live a lot more, man. I honestly, it's like my 5th time ever. So I'm still new to it. I had Coach on Tuesday.
Yep.
And like Engraven on a couple weeks ago. I had you on like a couple weeks before that. So just trying to stay active. I got Noah from For the Flock coming on next Thursday. So
okay.
Just trying to go live as much as possible, man. Interact with the community and stuff. I feel like it's a cool thing.
It is, because I think as far as a lot of us having a lot of different views, I think we're disjointed as a Ravens community because some people are on one side, some on the other, and people just genuinely think that we don't like each other. But it's just that we have different views. And if you've been on my channel, my thing is we can disagree all you want, as long as we can have an intelligent conversation about it. I don't go with the name calling and the dumb stuff. Just say your point, and I'll see where you're coming from, and I'll say my point, and we'll go from there. But I just think that a lot of us just seem to just stay to one. We stick to our own sides. But it's good that, you're getting with everybody and making this great content.
Yeah, I noticed that. I feel like because there's so many other channels that I have never even interacted with, but I feel like, and I just started this 2 years ago, so I guess I'm a little new to the party, but like, I feel like everyone does kind of stay to themselves. I don't see like a ton of collaboration, maybe like a couple times a year, but it's like real spaced out. So I was like, I don't know, man. I just want to interact with everyone. Everyone watches a lot of these channels anyway. Like, let's just talk together, and especially going live too, because now everyone gets to watch and stuff. So I don't know. I feel like it's cool.
I mean, it is, but it's like to myself, I don't want to feel like I'm bothering somebody. You know what I'm saying? So I don't reach out to people because I'm like, I know they're busy with their own channels. They have their own lives. So I don't reach out to people, which I know that I should, but it's just like, I don't feel like I want to be a bother to anybody, or I don't want people to think that I'm trying to use them, to try to gain some fan base and notoriety. So I stick to myself. So if somebody asks me, I'll gladly jump on a live. But as far as asking people, I just don't like bothering.
No, I feel that. I was definitely like that for a while too, and then I was just like, all right, it's fun, man. It's fun. Yeah, let's go. Let's collab, man. I think the people like it too, man. Ravens fans want to see them all together. It's cool to see 2 different channels that you're watching just come together and talk about it. So, yeah. All right, let's dive into today. We're going to start with, since I haven't talked about this at all, came out a little after I dropped my video earlier. We're going to start with Jadeveon Clowney. Released from the Panthers. I've seen a ton of Ravens fans, which makes sense. They want the reunion. So I just kind of want to get your thoughts on this. I don't feel like if this did happen, and I'm not against this by any means, but if this did happen, I feel like it wouldn't probably happen till later in the offseason. That's just my gut feeling, just because I feel like Clowney would not mind skipping camp. And I feel like the Ravens might want to see what they have with the young guys like Isaac and Ajabo, and just kind of, see if one of them are really going to take a leap and maybe make the roster, and then we don't need to add the vet right now, or they might look at Ajabo and be like, man, he's behind. Like, let's go sign Clowney. So what are you thinking about this? You open to reunion?
I have 2 different thoughts on this. I'm always a proponent of garnering more talent, and especially with the linebacker, the edge core, we could use a little bit of help. We could use somebody that could come in and win some one-on-ones. And when Clowney was here a couple of years ago, he made a difference because he opened things up for other guys. So I'd be open for a reunion as long as the price is right. I don't think that he should sit out, because now we have a new defensive coordinator, because he was under Mike McDonald. Now we have a new one. He has to come in and learn. And I think that with his advanced age, I think that he knows that his opportunities are limited, especially last year with him having only 5.5 sacks with a team that desperately needed him to step up. I think that he knows that, look, I don't have the option to sit and pick and choose now. I'm not a spring chicken. But then on the other hand, I have to go back to the fact of when it comes to the Baltimore Ravens and the offensive side of the ball, they're always with the wait and see approach. They take the young guys and say, well, let's wait for this young guy to develop and see what he has. But on defense, if they don't work out 3 or 4 games, we're out looking for the next best thing. So I think that this is an opportunity for Adisa Isaac to come in, Tavius Robinson to show more improvement. David Ajabo, I've just given up on him. I think the team has as well. It is what it is. I said that when they drafted him, that this was going to be a not good sign, because you signed somebody that was hurt and he's trying to play catch up. And I think more than anything, when a lot of guys have high expectations and they're coming off of an injury, they rush too fast to get back. And the Ravens have proven, like with Ronnie Stanley, they will put pressure on you to come back a little bit too soon. So I think he may be a lost cause. But if they did add him, I don't have a problem with it, because we need all the guys that we can get.
Yeah, 100%. So you're writing Ajabo off for sure.
Bro, I said this when we drafted him. I said year 1, he's not going to play. Year 2, he's going to come back too fast and get injured again. Year 3, he may be decent and serviceable. And year 4, he's going to price himself out of Baltimore. But with the way that things are going now, he may not even get an opportunity to play.
I guess. The question is now is like, can he make the team? I think that's where we're at right now, especially after drafting this guy, Mike Green. I mean, and if you add a vet, whether that be Clowney or whatever direction they go, if they add a vet, like that's a crowded edge room, know? And I guess, looking forward, who are you thinking that sticks around then out of this edge room specifically? Because let's say, based off what you're just saying, you kind of feel like Ajabo might not even like make the roster this year.
Mm-hmm.
So that would mean he's not here next year.
Right.
Isaac probably get more of an opportunity. Definitely love Tavius. I think he's getting better year after year. He plays like a Raven. I don't really see him, not playing next year.
Right.
Owe, free agent.
Mm-hmm.
Probably going to command quite a bit of money. Van Noy's a free agent, might retire. Who knows? Obviously, we got Mike Green locked up. But what are you feeling about? How you feeling about this edge room after this immediate year? Because right now I feel like we'll be all right, but a lot of these guys might not even be here next year.
A lot of those guys they definitely won't be here next year. First and foremost, I want to apologize to Tavius Robinson, because when I say that I'm wrong about something, I have no problems saying I was wrong. And when they drafted him, I was like, I don't see the streak. And he's proven me wrong. He actually, I think, outsnapped Odafe Owe last season, if I'm not mistaken. Like towards the end of the season, he got more snaps. So I think he's going to be around. I think what's going to happen is David Ajabo, he's definitely not going to be re-signed next year. He may not even make the roster, to be honest with you. Adisa Isaac is famously going to be an IR stash. We love to take that one player and say he has a migraine and is going to be out for the year.
Man, I hope not. You think that's happening again this year?
Yes, because I think that this team, John Harbaugh, they love veterans. They're not too high on rookies unless they were high draft picks. So I think that the Ravens are going to do one of 3 things. They're going to get Jadeveon Clowney. They're going to try and get Zadarius Smith, and they're going to try to bring back Matt Judon. 2 of those 3 may possibly happen. If it does, 2 of these guys are definitely out one way or another.
Yeah, if they do that, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think that they're bringing in a vet. I don't know if it'd be 2 of them. I mean, I'm not against that by any means. I also think, like I said earlier, I think they're going to really want to look at the young guys, like you got to at least in practice, not in the game, but you got to at least see if Ajabo is going to step up or what Isaac's bringing to the table. What if one of those are like really flashing that you don't need to go get 2 vets? But you know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but
you just don't. Yeah, you're guessing that's not how it's going to play out.
Oh no, I'm not guessing. My thing is, I don't guess. I go off history.
Yeah.
Last season, what did we hear in last preseason? David Ajabo is looking amazing. He's looking outstanding. He's doing this. He was a healthy scratch for what, 3-4 games? I don't know people that look. Yeah. I don't know people that look amazing to be healthy scratches, especially when we need pass rush, especially when some guys were banged up. You healthy scratch him, but he looks so amazing. So I don't believe a lot of things that they say, and I just think that he's in John Harbaugh's doghouse for whatever reason, and it's hard to get out of there. So
yeah, Van Cleveland might still be there. Yeah. All right. Let's switch positions. Staying on defense, though, because I haven't talked about this enough. Is corner. So especially outside corner. I think we're super versatile at safety now, which can help fill in certain packages in the slot, and you know, we got a lot of versatile defenders. Like Darius Washington can fill in slot, can play deep. Kyle Hamilton, we obviously just proved that he can do that as well. Marlon Humphrey can play outside, inside. So I think we could probably shift the defense if there are any issues, but I think we're a little thin, or at least going a little risky with the outside corner opposite of Wiggins, because right now we're relying on Awuzie to be healthy and step in and ball right away, or a TJ Tampa leap, which we haven't seen much of yet. I'm not writing him off. I think he's got a lot of potential, but like TJ Tampa.
Who's that?
You know who TJ Tampa is.
The steal of the 2024 draft.
We'll see. It's to be determined. We're still figuring it out, man. You got what? You writing him? You're putting him with Adisa Isaac already?
I'm not writing him off, but one thing is, my problem and issue is, and this doesn't just go for the defense. You want to take a guy who had literally no snaps at starting corner in his rookie year, and you want him to take that outside leap to go from rookie to starter.
That's what I'm saying. I'm concerned that we're thin opposite of Wiggins. Wiggins, love Marlon. Marlon's not playing outside as much, you know, at least that's not the ideal situation. So Awuzie and Tampa are kind of our only option, or like a Jalen Armour-Davis or one of the 6th-round picks we just drafted. But like, how are we confident about if there's any issue with Awuzie? Like, I'm not confident on that other side. We're going to have a similar situation. I know our safety play should be a lot better, but like, we could find ourselves in a similar situation where we have a Brandon Stevens type performing player at the opposite corner and we're getting picked on every game, you know?
I'm not high on TJ Tampa, but I don't think he's given up the 3rd most yards in the league. I don't think that.
Yeah.
Because they're not going to play him that much.
Yeah, Awuzie, I think, is the main option, but there's risk there.
Oh, yeah. Both players were hurt last year. So
yeah,
we're dependent upon 2 guys that may or may not be able to play the full season. So we are a little thin. There are a few guys out there still left in free agency that they may be able to pick up, but we may have to lean heavily on those 6th-round picks. Jalen Armour-Davis, he's another corner that can't stay healthy. And he's shown that he's really not a starter in this league. So
yeah, I agree.
My personal opinion is, you pay Marlon Humphrey all that money, make him play outside.
We've done it outside, though. A couple years ago, it didn't go as well. I think he's best fit inside, especially in aging Marlon Humphrey. It's not that he can't fill in, but like, ideally, we have a solid outside corner opposite of Wiggins, and we keep Marlon in the slot. I think that's the dream scenario. That's how they would envision the defense on paper. But
I mean, I feel you, and that's how theoretically it should go. But I don't need my highest paid safety guard and wide receiver 3.
Yeah,
that's just how I feel. I just feel like we gave him all that money to play in the slot. No.
Yeah, well, he could also be on the way out. I mean, this is a contract year for him. They just restructured his contract to pretty much clear the entire cap, right? Because he was making I think it was like a $17 million cap hit or something, and now it's like $1 million. So I mean, they added void years and you know, restructured Marlon's contract, but didn't extend him. So is this the last year of Marlon Humphrey? You know what I mean?
It quite possibly may be. If we'd have drafted another corner in the 1st or 2nd round, I would have said yes. But depending upon the structure of the contract or the deal that he feels he deserves going into next season, I don't know. The only thing that scares me a little bit is the New York Jets, because they'll pay anything for former Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, they've been taking them all.
Anything. So I don't know. But I guess right now we just have to go all in for this season, because we have a lot of contracts that are going to be up after this season. So we have to go all in right now. That's why I believe the Ravens should do everything possible, offensively and defensively, to shore up certain positions. Because during the draft, they got some guys, but we don't know what they are. They are just potential at this point. And I'm concerned with that other corner side as well. I thought when we let go of Brandon Stevens, we were going to bring in somebody that we knew was like, okay, he can hold that spot down going up against wide receiver 2, sometimes wide receiver 1, but we still have those same questions. And shout out, you got a new member.
Oh, yeah. Shout out. Asmodeus Thanatos, new member. Appreciate you. Yeah, good call, man. I don't look at the chat enough. I'll do better. I'll do better looking at the chat. Ask some questions in the chat. I swear I'm going to get to them. But I appreciate you, seriously. And yeah, I got to look at the chat more. I'm like so focused this on like talking and moving parts, man. I am not looking at the chat enough. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys, man. Let's stick to free agents and / extensions. Here's a snapshot of everyone that's in their last year of their contract right now. Kyle Hamilton's not here because we just accepted his 5th-year option, so he's technically under contract. Now, there's also some names that aren't on here, like Kyle Van Noy and Pat Ricard, Keaton Mitchell, David Ajabo. Some names that I don't think quite move the needle as much. But like to your point that you were just saying, this is a pretty solid amount of important players that are up for a new contract next year. So out of this group, who do you see, maybe extending early? They got to agree to it too. I would love to extend Isaiah Likely right now, but with Mark Andrews on the roster and his potential playing time this year, he might want to wait. I don't know. I don't know if he wants to sign a bargain deal right now, right? Because he's been like a backup tight end. His market could go up if he balls this year. So there's certain guys that I would love to lock up right now. Travis Jones, Tyler Linderbaum. But out of this group, who are you thinking is a must stay, and what kind of moves would you make?
Listen, things were made a little more difficult with not picking up the 5th-year option for Linderbaum, because he is one guy that we have to re-sign. We have to re-sign him because after this season, Faalele's gone. We don't know what's going to happen at left guard, to be quite honest with you. And extending him, $18, $20 million range. I remember Matt Skura. I remember the game versus the Buffalo Bills in 2020 when Lamar got concussed. I remember having guys trying to fill in a role, and we now have stability in the center position. So I think he is a must resign, and Isaiah Likely is a must resign because, like you said, Mark Andrews is in the last year of his deal. Likely's in the last year of his deal, but also Charlie Kolar is in the last year of his deal. So as of right now, next season, we have 0 tight ends on this roster. So those are really, really important. And if Derrick Henry can be 80% of what he was last season, I think we also need to re-sign him. But his deal is made a little bit more difficult with the re-signing of Saquon, with the extension of Saquon Barkley. That made things a little more difficult. I would like for Travis Jones to be re-signed.
Yes.
Faalele, he's going to price himself out of Baltimore. It's just going to happen. Odafe Owe, he's gone. He's gone. I think, listen, double-digit sacks. If he can get anywhere close to double-digit sacks again this season, his price tag is going to go up. And the one thing that the Ravens have proven throughout their history is they don't like re-signing their own players when it comes to a lot of money. They'll pick and choose certain guys, but most guys price themselves out. And when we just entered the draft and have to repeat this cycle of pick a guy, develop a guy, he hits, go somewhere else, we replace him. Darius, I think his feelings are hurt right now. He's gone. So this roster is going to look so much different in 2026.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I agree on all those points. I think the Linderbaum deal is getting done very soon because we're not even going to let him hit free agency next year. If it doesn't get done this offseason, it's getting done like Ronnie's did before he hits unrestricted free agency. The only reason they didn't pick up the 5th year is just because he was 23.4. I think at the highest paid center in the league's 18, you can get way less than that, than 23. Right. So I do think Linderbaum's staying no matter what. Owe, I'm with you. I think there's like an 80% chance he's gone just because he's fitting into, to your point when you said about Ravens like to let guys price themselves out and then let them go get big paydays and move on. They've done that with so many edge rushers in their contract years, like Judon and Zadarius Smith, and then going back like Ellerby, and like there's so many guys. Paul Kruger, man, I don't know. There's so many guys that have balled out that weren't like Terrell Suggs talent, you know. So like if you are like a Kyle Hamilton, if you're one of those like greats in the league, they will hold on to you. But if you're a solid pass rusher that's about to make 20 million because you're the hot name on the market and you're an ascending player, they're letting you walk. And with this many free agents, I think Oweh's probably gone. I think Travis Jones is a must. I genuinely don't know unless we go D tackle early. I mean, our D line is going to take a massive hit if we have Travis Jones gone and like an Oweh. I mean, that takes so much off of our defensive line. I think Likely's a must. Andrews is definitely gone. So I'd like to see a Henry extension too, man. I know not long term, but like, I don't know if I'm ready to move on. You want this to be the last year of Derrick Henry?
No, but this is the way that this team operates. And this is the only problem one of the problems that I have with this team. Just like with the Linderbaum deal, we like to do a wait and see approach. And we like to wait and say, you know what? Beginning of next offseason, we'll redo Tyler Linderbaum's deal. But guess what's going to happen? More centers are going to get paid, just like more safeties are going to get paid, which is going to make Kyle Hamilton's numbers go up. Instead of getting them when the deal is relatively at a price that they can afford to sign other people, they wait to the very last end and say, you know what, I'll sign you now, but I got to give you more than I really wanted to give you. That takes away money from other positions. Just like for me, I look back at when we had CJ Mosley. We let CJ Mosley go because we didn't want to give him $17 million a year. The Jets gave it to him. What happened?
I think we offered like 15 or something. It was close, but we just wouldn't pay up.
Right. So what did we do? 2 years later, we traded for Roquan Smith and gave him $20 million a year, where we could have had CJ Mosley. Then in turn, we did not need to draft Patrick Queen, and we could have gotten T. Higgins or somebody else. So some of the things that they do, the wait and see approach, to me, I'm not too fond of it. If you have a guy and you believe he's the guy, pay him now. Pay him while the salary is cheap. You did it with Joe Flacco, and you had to pay him twice. You had to overpay for Joe Flacco twice. Lamar Jackson, you could have got Lamar Jackson at a cheaper price. You had to give him more money because you wanted to wait to see if he was that guy when everybody knew he was that guy. So I just think that sometimes sign the guys before the prices go up, because it's not going to get any cheaper as each season goes by.
Yeah, I'm with that. We got a super chat here. Somebody's trying to start some trouble, they said. So
Big Reg.
I'm just playing. Yeah, Big Reg. Appreciate the 5. He said, time to start trouble. Doesn't matter who's on the team. They won't win another Super Bowl with John Harbaugh. What's your thoughts? Is it possible?
I mean,
1-1.
We have Lamar Jackson, so anything is possible. So, like I said, I go a lot by history. And history tells us that any coach quarterback combination that's been together more than 5 years will not win the Super Bowl together. Us as a franchise, it is very possible that we can win a Super Bowl, because there have been a few breaks here and there that have stopped us from winning. But philosophically, I think that is the biggest issue. And like I told you earlier, I made a video that I'm working on that I should be releasing tomorrow. Shameless plug.
Go check it out. Run it up.
And it's about how the Ravens have failed Lamar Jackson. And it goes into detail about the draft picks. It goes into detail about the playoff failures. Now, yes, Lamar can play a lot better. He can play a lot better, hands down, because I know people are going to say, well, you're going to give Lamar a pass. I'm not giving Lamar a pass. He can play better. But I have seen teams win Super Bowls for the last 30 years. I've been watching Super Bowls for over 30 years. And I've seen teams win where the quarterbacks were not at their best, because the team around them and the schemes and their philosophical nature as a team helped them win the Super Bowl, because they came in prepared. Us, we do the same thing. From 2019 on to last season, we as a franchise have said, the head coach, the general manager has said, we want to be the most run dominant team in NFL history. We want to be the best running team that this league has ever seen. But yet still, once we get into the playoffs, we decide to zag and want to outsmart people and throw the ball. We want to throw passes to our left tackle at the goal line instead of running our 230-pound running back, who's a future Hall of Famer. So yes, the Ravens can win a Super Bowl with John Harbaugh. Will they win one with him? I don't know. It just depends on if he decides to sidestep his ego and do what's best for the team, erase and eliminate that doghouse and say, you know what? All right, I got an issue with you, but can you help us win? Is your talent good enough to push us over the top and help us to get to where we need to go? I think we need Todd Monken, or I at least need Todd Monken to say, you know what, John, you are the head coach, but this game plan ain't working for us. We tried this game plan for the last 6 years and it didn't work. Let's do something a little bit different. So we can, but will we? I hope and pray so, because I want Lamar to get a Super Bowl so bad. So
no, he needs one, man. He needs one. He deserves two, to be honest with you. And I think as soon as he gets a ring, too, he's top 5 player all time. Top 10 at least. We can sit there and rank them out different time, but I'm in my head, I'm like, Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest football players I've ever seen.
And it's amazing to me how you get the people on TV talking about football. You get us, not us, but you get us YouTubers talking about Lamar Jackson and his playoff record and what he hasn't done. But when you listen to the players that play against him, they tell a whole different story. And it's amazing that the guys sitting on the sideline, the ones that got to ice up after they warm up, talking about, Lamar, he could be, but he's just not there. But the players are like, this dude is one of the baddest people to ever step on a football field. And right now, to me, he is the best player in the NFL. What he did last season, 4,172 yards, 41 touchdowns passing, 4 interceptions. And I'm not trying to take anything away from anybody, but Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Nelson Aguilar, these aren't superstar. They're very good players, but they're not superstar skill position players. And he did this with these guys. You can't tell me he doesn't elevate his teammates. He doesn't make his team better. We started off 0-2 last season, and Lamar said enough is enough. And with the defense struggling, he put this team on his back and elevated us. So you can't tell me, and all hail to Patrick Mahomes and his greatness, but you cannot tell me that Lamar Jackson is not the greatest player in the NFL today. Because if he were under Andy Reid right now, how many Super Bowls would he have? I guarantee you, as good as Philadelphia's defense was last season, they wouldn't have did that to Lamar.
No. Because he can move. He gets out of pressure. Like, I mean, not every single time, but like we saw it last year. Our offensive line, I've said this a million times, but our offensive line was not that great. I know they're statistically like middle of the road. Lamar made that middle of the road. You know what I mean? Like he made those stats way better because of his ability to get out of pressure better than anybody in the universe, anybody ever. Seriously, I've never seen somebody avoid pressure like he does. So I'm with you, man. We need to get a Super Bowl for Lamar. I do wonder too, like going back to the Harbaugh thing real quick. When you're talking about that, like running on the goal line or having the trick play on the goal line instead of running, right? In the playoffs, trying to throw it to Ronnie, which they were installing that in like camp. And there was like some secret. There was like some secret, like you'll see this soon. And like the last thing I wanted to see it was in a meaningful playoff game. You know what I mean? Let's try that out when we're up, 20, right. But do you think, and I do know Harbaugh's philosophy for sure has a huge role. Is he like in the ear of Monken in those moments then? Or is that Monken basing his decisions off of the philosophy of a Harbaugh? Because like, what if Harbaugh like wasn't saying much and Monken came up with that idea? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wish I was a fly on the wall to see exactly like what the dynamic of the conversations are. Like, is Monken making all the decisions? Is he making his decisions based off of the philosophy of a Harbaugh? What do you think about like, I guess blame on both sides there of like Monken makes some of these decisions too, or do you think he feels tied a little bit, trapped?
Once again, I like to go back to history. I love to go back to history. And what history tells me is whether it's Marty Morningweg, Mark Trestman, Todd Monken, Greg Roman, we have a philosophy and we run the Ravens offense. No matter how it goes, we run the Ravens offense. No matter the coordinator, as long as we've had this head coach, we've run the same offense stands 2 times. And those 2 times, one with Gary Kubiak, because Gary Kubiak was a Super Bowl winning coach, and he had clout. So guess what? He installed his offense. What happens? Joe Flacco has the best year of his career. Wonder why. Second time, which was actually the first time. 2012, when we fired the offensive coordinator and we went with what's his name? I just had his name in my head. Just having to get old. I see his face. I see his face. Head coach of the Colts. What is it? Caldwell, Jim Caldwell.
Oh yeah.
Jim Caldwell.
Yeah.
Jim Caldwell. He was installed during the playoffs when we switched the offensive line and everything. Jim Caldwell. He called his own offense. That's when we won a Super Bowl. I wonder, is that a coincidence that when we ran something that wasn't Baltimore Ravens-esque, we win a Super Bowl? When we run something that isn't Baltimore Ravens-centric, Joe Flacco has the greatest season of his career. But yet and still, we start getting these, and I hate calling them betas, but beta offensive coordinators that don't stand up for themselves and say, hey, coach, I don't think that's the right call. We should go with this. And I don't even think that Harbaugh needs to be in his ear. There's a philosophical game plan that the Ravens carry each and every season, except for when we get into the playoffs. We run, play action pass all the time until we get to the postseason. And then it's, let's try some different stuff. Because even after that pass to Ronnie Stanley, we were in shotgun and try to pass instead of running Derrick Henry again. Like, these are things that I think is fundamental of John Harbaugh and his identity. After the 2012 Super Bowl and John Harbaugh became a head coach, now it's, I'm a head coach. I'm a Super Bowl winning head coach myself. Now I get more say. So you know what? We're going to do things my way, the way I want to do them, the way I want to run them. And he keeps hiring offensive coordinators, that run systems that he likes. You will never see John Harbaugh hire anybody that would threaten his job. And to me, that is coaching malpractice, because if I want to be a Super Bowl winning head coach, if I want to get back to the mountaintop, I'm going to hire the best innovative mind, especially with Lamar Jackson as my quarterback. Then you add in a Derrick Henry as my running back. I'm going to bring in anybody that I'm like, yo, I know everybody doing this, but give me somebody from that Shanahan tree. Give me somebody from that McVay tree that's going to get the best out of this offense, especially when you don't have the elite of the elite as far as skill positions go. But no, we're going to hire people that, you know what, they're not going to say anything. They're not going to fight back. We did the same thing with the players. We got rid of Ed Reed, Bernard Pollard. We got rid of who else? With Anquan Bolden. Anybody that had a voice, Marcus Peters, anybody that challenged Harbaugh in his regime, we got rid of him. So he's going to bring in guys that do exactly what he says. So to me, all of this is on Coach Harbaugh, because once again, you cannot go into a playoff game every year and fail at the same thing. Even in 2022, when Lamar did not play and we had Tyler Huntley at quarterback, what did we do? We were at the 2-yard line, J.K. Dobbins, and we had a 235-pound Gus Edwards. 2-yard line. And it wasn't even third down.
And the other team scored.
And you're telling me you're not going to run the ball and try to at least get down to the 1 before you try your quarterback sneak. You're going to try a quarterback sneak from the 2-yard line. With Cincinnati at that time, they had a very stout defensive line. You're going to try that then. That falls on the head coach, because after the game, J.K. Dobbins even said, I'm tired of this. How do you not run your star guys? 15 carries a game? What type of is this? So, yeah, to me, it falls on Harbaugh.
Yeah, I feel you. You said a lot of facts there. Let me get to Jay the 6 here, man. 5's not the magic number. I saw you in there. My bad. I was letting Hendo spit. No, you're good. I just saw him. He said something like, Reg, 5 must be the magic number, because we weren't reading it. But I see you, man. No, I appreciate the 2 as well. When will Lamar ask for a trade again? I'm just hopefully never, man. Hopefully never. Hopefully we get a Super Bowl and get this thing done. What do you think? Hendo? You think Lamar could ask for a trade? I don't see that happening this year, but it could happen in the near future if we keep almost getting there.
2026 or 2027. If we do the same thing, if we go into this next season and fail the exact same way, and then we go into next year's draft and draft a cornerback first, instead of bringing in people to shore up this offensive line, I think Lamar's going to be like, look, man, what are y'all doing? You had me here. You brought me in here because you thought that I was a novelty. You thought I was somebody that was going to come in and sell tickets, sell you some jerseys, put seats in the stands. You didn't realize I was a quarterback. And once the Ravens realized that he was a quarterback, they still invest in defense, no matter what we do. Even if you look at this draft, defense-centric. And yet and still, I should have had my 3rd MVP. I went out there and did something that nobody else in the history of the 100-plus year NFL has ever done. No one has ever thrown for 4,100 yards and had under 5 interceptions. Nobody has won an MVP and thrown for 4,000 yards the very next season. Nobody has thrown for 4,000 yards and run for 900 yards in a season, but yet and still, you want to go out here and, excuse me, nothing against Malachi Starks, and draft a safety in the first round instead of getting me protection, especially when you know Lele could be gone, Voorhees could be injured. We don't know what's going to happen with this offensive line. So next season, we're going to play merry-go-round again with his protection. And to me, and what I don't understand about a lot of Ravens fans is, why is it that we can play around with the 5 group of people that are keeping the main reason that we are entertaining, that we are winning, upright? Why do we play about this? Why do we have a wait-and-see approach with, he might be good, Andrew Voorhees may be an all-pro in the future? But as of right now, he is not. We were 1 game away from the Super Bowl 2 years ago. And as a general manager, you told me, yeah, we were 1 game away, but the offensive line is going to be good next year. Not this year, next year. So you're not even counting on them to be good this year to protect your quarterback that almost took you to the Super Bowl. And one of the issues that we had in that Kansas City game was protecting Lamar Jackson. And I know Lamar does not play his best in playoff games, but look at how his protection does not hold up. Look at how somehow there's always a strip sack, because as soon as he takes his 5th step on his drop back, somebody's right there swiping at his arm. That's because we don't provide adequate protection for him. But you know what? We'll get a 3rd safety. We'll get another linebacker. We'll bring in a defensive tackle for people to say, well, we have to show up the defense to make sure that they get Lamar Jackson the ball back. But throughout the history of Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, the Baltimore Ravens defense has caused 2 turnovers the entire time? So how are they getting Lamar the ball back to score more points? So to me, it's just confounding and befuddling that we still want to go defense. This is not a defensive league. And I meant to ask you, when it came to the 2012 Super Bowl, do you think the Ravens offense or do you think the Ravens defense won that game?
Their offense won that game.
Okay, because a lot of people say, oh, defensively they won that game. Did you see that 4th down?
They barely held on. Yeah, they were old, man. That defense was old. Like, on paper, people look at that defense from a distance if you're not like that tapped in and you're like, oh, they had Ray, they had Ed. That was at the very end, like the very end. Like, they were holding on for dear life when those lights went out and they got to sit for 30 minutes or however long it was. Those bodies tightened up, man. Like, they came back out there and were slow, and the Niners ran it up. So, no, I think Joe Flacco, that whole playoff run was carrying, to be honest with you. Not just him, like Anquan Bolden and Dennis Pitta and like guys like there's so many people stepping up. Jacoby Jones, Torrey Smith was clutch in a few games. Like there were a lot. The offensive line was playing pretty well. Yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm not saying you. I'm
not saying you, but I'm just saying.
No, it matters. It matters so much. That's been my main complaint since last year. Really, is that we and I'm obviously praying that if they go with Voorhees and Falele, that they have the best season possible. I'm not sitting here rooting against anybody, but like I do think that is the one spot that they can't afford to neglect, that they decided to neglect a little bit last year. They're like, oh, we're going to go younger. Not only younger, we're going to switch a guy's position. I'm hard on Falele. I know you have been too, but like, he's also not a guard, like he came in as a right tackle, a developmental right tackle. That's almost like us putting Carson Vincent at right guard next season, starting. Like, it is a tough move, and it's so risky to go in with a championship team and play with fire like that. I am with you though. The offensive line has been my biggest complaint.
Facts. And so my whole thing with that was a lot of people love to say, well, the Ravens defense won us that championship throughout that playoff run. No, what won us that championship was Joe Flacco playing out of his line and the defense making situational plays. That's what we need. We don't need a number one defense across the board. We don't need that. We just need them to make timely stops at the right time. In the Denver game, they didn't give up because special teams gave them 14 points, but they scored 35 points. But we made timely stops in the Super Bowl, timely stops against the Patriots, timely stops against the Colts, timely stops. We don't need to have all the best at all the positions. We just need guys to create turnovers, force 3-and-outs, get the other team off the field, and let the defense do what it does. People talk about the Rams versus the Bengals Super Bowl. You see what Aaron Donald did to the Bengals to help them win the Super Bowl? No. Did you see what Cooper Kupp did to give them the lead? If Cooper Kupp wasn't Cooper Kupp, they don't get that fourth down touchdown catch. Offense is the way to go. Defense helps. All phases of the team help win championships, but I think that this team puts too much of an emphasis on defense wins championships because we've had the number one defense in the league. We've had top 5 defenses in the league. The 2002 to 2004 to 2006 Baltimore Ravens were historically great. How many championships did they win? 0. You know why? Because we couldn't score points.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, those years were frustrating, man. That one year back then, we had one really good offensive season with Steve McNair. I don't know, you remember that season, but like that
2006,
and then we got like blanked by the Colts with
we
Manning.
We lost to Manning. They kicked 5 field goals.
Yeah. I know, but that was like our out of like all those years, that was like our best, most hopeful offensive season up to that point. Because like before that, we were going through guys like Elvis Gerback and Kyle Bowler and like, you know what I mean? Like
Anthony
at least
Wright.
Yeah. At least one positive we can take now is that we legit have a franchise quarterback. You know, we're not dealing with that roller coaster like this.
Do we have one?
Come on.
Because we don't act like we do. I'm serious. Other teams, look what other teams do for lesser quarterbacks. And I don't like to compare, but look at the Green Bay Packers. How many weapons are you going to give Jordan Love?
Or the Bears right now? Like
Caleb
really
Williams,
stacked. Yeah.
Caleb Williams, Jordan Love are nowhere close to Lamar Jackson. And look what they're doing to try to build around him. We
messed up in those early years, I think. I know you'll probably touch on that in your video, but I'm just saying, like, now that we signed Lamar to a mega contract, it's a lot more difficult. Now, the offensive line should be priority, but it's a lot more difficult to just go crazy spending than it was like during Lamar's first chunk. But we had the worst wide receiver course for some reason in the NFL for Lamar's entire rookie contract.
Ryan, I like what you're cooking, but I'm vegan. So I'm gonna tell you like this. I understand what you're saying. And this is the thing. We have been so brainwashed as a franchise, sitting back and listening to the salary cap. This ain't Madden. We can't do all of these things. Well, once again, I hate to compare and contrast, but you think about it, right before Lamar signed his contract, Jalen Hurts signed his contract. They signed AJ Brown to 2 mega deals within a 3-year period. They signed who's the sidekick? Smith.
Yeah.
To a $75 million deal. They they extended Saquon Barkley to make him the first $20 million running back in the league. So the Ravens have had the opportunity, even after Lamar's rookie contract, to build around him because the Eagles did it. Great offensive line. And I'm not even going to touch on how great their defense is, but as far as offensively, they've brought in guys to give him weapons. They built an offensive line even after they signed Jalen Hurts to a mega contract. So the Ravens can do it. It's how you finagle the money, and it's also what you prioritize. The Ravens do and have never prioritized offense. They don't. John Harbaugh said it himself with wide receivers. Like, yo, you come in here chasing stats. You come in here looking for numbers. Don't come here. Well, guess what? I'm a wide receiver. I need stats to make my money. So yes, I am chasing stats. And me personally, I want a guy who's like, get me the ball. Oh, it's 3rd down and 5, and we need this. Yeah. We need this to run the clock out. Get me the ball. I don't want a guy that's like, if you give it to Andrews, give it to him. And if Nelson wanted to give it to him, if it's coming to me, so be it. I don't want anybody like that. And I think that's a problem that we've had for too long is we've just had guys that go along with the program. I want a guy that's like, get me the damn ball. And when he doesn't get it, if he throws a fit every now and again, I'll take that because he's passionate about football. I don't think the Ravens have a lot of guys that are passionate about football. They may be great athletes, but I don't think that they love the game. Lamar loves the game. He studies the game. That's why we see him evolve and get better each and every season. I don't see that across this roster, and I don't think that we have those guys. Now, with the drafting of Mike Green, things may be changing a little bit. Maybe EDC is starting to be like, that philosophy that we had back in the day, it ain't working. I need to start bringing some guys with some attitude, some toughness. I need some guys that's going to knock somebody out of bounds and look at them and not help them up. So even though we didn't go offense, I do like this signing because I want somebody with a chip on their shoulder that makes this team tougher because we love to say, play like a Raven, play like a Raven. I don't even remember the last time this team played like a Raven. We haven't had that toughness in a long time. We let a undersized, undermanned Buffalo Bills team push us around. They pushed us around.
Yeah, the offensive line's not playing like a Raven, that's for sure. I think you can nitpick a couple guys that do. But I know what you're saying, like as a collective, because playing like a Raven like is pissed off, physical, fast and physical to the ball, like just ruthlessly competitive, like by all means necessary, get the job done to win the game, man. I do hear you like that. I think Lamar plays with that though. I definitely don't think he's chilling out there. You know what I mean? I think he is one of those like all-time competitors. Like obviously we know what he brings from an athletic standpoint and a skill standpoint and all that, but like when it comes to just like winning, like it bothers him to his core if he's not winning the game. I think he possesses that.
Well, I know I said what I just said, but I'm gonna need Lamar to chill a little bit. Because there's been a couple of games where he's running and he lowers his head and he just bangs up against somebody bro, please don't hurt your shoulder. Don't get concussed.
That's that competitiveness.
I know, but just
I feel
we need you because you're the only piece that we can't lose.
Yeah, no, I feel that completely. It's hard to probably to turn that notch off though. You play sports, right? Like it's hard, man. You know what I mean? Like you're going 100 miles an hour and you're trying to like insert your will on them, like you want to let them know like we're being physical too, but you can't have only Lamar and Henry playing that way. The offensive line needs to play that way as well. We got Nitro going crazy in the comments.
What's up,
man.
Nitro?
What's up, Nitro? I got to get you on too. He's making good content over there. Lamar is a quiet football psychopath. I agree. I agree.
You gotta watch out for the quiet ones.
He's not being as quiet lately. You see all the things he's been on, man. I think when is it? In like 20 minutes, he's on could have been a Baltimore edition with Drewski. if you ever watch that, they like judge acts or whatever. Like it's kind of like a skit funny thing, right. But yeah, he's on that. He's on the Power Show. He's on Cold as Balls with Kevin Hart. I feel like Lamar's like doing a little off-season tour of like getting on a lot of different content stuff. You don't always see that from him,
I think that he's just tired of people creating a narrative about him. And he's just like, you know what? I just tried to keep myself stick to football. But if people are going to talk and say what they want to say about me, I'm out to just go live my life. And he's out there living his life. But the best thing about this is no matter what he's doing outside of football, when the game starts, he's going to be prepared.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. You touched on a good point that I kind of want to expand on is draft philosophy with the Mike Green decision. I completely agree with you. It feels different. It feels like that would have been a guy that we just, like a lot of teams probably did, just didn't even go do their homework and just took him off the board because there's allegations in the past, right? And especially with the Tucker situation that just happened, right? In my head before the draft, I'm like, man, like I love Mike Green, but I was like, man, the Ravens are probably one of those teams that are going to take him off the board and just not want to deal with it, right? And obviously the allegations are in the past. This is not ongoing charges. This is not something that's like even lingering at all. But did it surprise you? And do you think there's a little bit of switch in aggressiveness then by making a decision like that? Like, hey, listen, we're going to toss a little bit of the character, concerns out the window because this guy's a freak. This guy's going to come in and help us win right now and for years to come. And it's worth the gamble. I don't see the Ravens taking as many chances like that they just did. So I was shocked and pleasantly, I was happy about it.
You ever see the movie Draft Day?
Yeah.
You see at the end when they picked Chadwick Boseman to be the number 1 pick overall? That was me.
Yeah.
Like, what? I mean, I didn't expect it. I'm all for it. I know a lot of people think that I hate defense and just want the Ravens not to go defense. The issue I have with them picking defense is they pick guys that can't play or don't play well or don't really make an impact. If this is a guy that they wanted, this is a guy that they felt could transform this defense, I'm all for it. I'm all for guys that have mean streaks. I'm all for guys that want to go out there and listen. I don't care if my arm's falling off. I'm going to give you everything that I got. So the character concerns, it did surprise me that they overlooked those things, but to what they said, they did their due diligence. And everybody, and my biggest thing is, if you haven't, to an extent, been charged or have a lot of things going around. But when they speak to everybody else around you, if everybody else around you has good things to say and say they've never had any trouble out of you and you're a good person, I'm for it. As long as he keeps his nose clean, I don't have any issues with it. And especially if he can play. That is the biggest thing with me. Can he play football? The Ravens aren't always in the business of drafting guys that can play football. They have said many times that they are a height, weight, and speed team. Those are the things that they look for. Those are the measurables that they want when looking at a player. But I never hear them say, I want a guy that loves football. I want a guy that loves to play. I want a guy that just goes out there and just lifts weights and practices in the offseason because he can't wait for football to start. I don't see a lot of that from the guys that they draft. I see a lot of guys that can run fast and are really big, but when they get on the field, they don't play like it.
Yeah, no, I think I think this is a great pick. I do think it's a little bit of a shift. Because I think he is going to play pissed off, at least from his college film. I mean, he's playing pissed off. Who else from the rookie class do you like? I know you wish we would have went offensive line early, but Starks obviously brings a ton to the table. It wasn't as juicy of a need. I agree with you that we could have went trenches there, but I don't mind Starks. I think he's going to bring a lot, and we're probably going to be needing a safety next year, so he's gonna fill that need ahead of time, I guess. But Mike Green, Starks, obviously main standouts from this draft class. But is there anyone else that you got your eye on? I like Wester a lot too. I think that's my value in the 6th round. Yeah, okay.
I don't care about value. Listen, I'm one of those people that I don't care about value. I honestly don't care about value. My thing is, can you help me win? I don't care where they draft you. When they drafted Tyler Linderbaum, and people are saying you don't pick a center in the 1st round. I don't care what his value is or where he's slotted to go. Is he going to make this team better? And I think Wester, as far as special teams go, because that's one thing that we've struggled with for years is special teams. And I think that he can make a difference. I think on certain gadget plays, maybe because he's not as big, that we can't utilize him 25 snaps a game, but I think that he can go out there, maybe take the top off of defense. I like him better than Tez Walker just because I think that his route tree is a little more expanded. It may not be the best, but I think that it is a lot better than what your boy has because he's been moved around so much and he doesn't have a lot of experience. So this gives Walker another year to get in there, practice, get better, get stronger, learn the game, and we can have somebody come in and be like that 5th wide receiver and take some snaps away from Tylan Wallace.
Yeah, so Wester's stand out for sure too, and I agree, man. We need juice in the return game. I mean, it's been average at best. And we can't have that, especially I talked about this the other night, so I'll repeat myself if you were on the live with Coach. But they changed the rule. The kickoff rule is now if it's a touchback, it's on the 35. So it's there's going to be a lot of teams not kicking it in the end zone. Right. And you need a weapon. You know what I mean? You need somebody that can be a home run hitter because how quick does the game change if you take a punt back to the house? Like it's massive. It takes all the pressure off the offense on that drive and flips the game, flips momentum. So I hope he can be. He looks like he can be our starting punt returner right out the gate. So I'm kind of hoping that's the case. Mm-hmm. Seeing a lot of people hyping up Emory Jones in the comments too. I know he's dealing with a labrum issue right now, which I guess he had prior to the draft. Yeah. So like it wasn't as like public information or most people weren't talking about it at least, but the labrum issue was, they knew that when they drafted him. So from what I understand, it's not a big deal, but I have PTSD with stuff like that for the Ravens because, we just look at the mid-round picks from last year, even, Adisa Isaac, TJ Tampa, like one little thing. And it's just like, boom, barely playing all season, and like, especially if you don't have if you're not there through mini camp, if you're not building the rapport or at least just getting confidence with the coaches, then it seems like your chance at starting at least or getting starting looks goes down, but I do like Emory Jones. I hope that it brings in healthy competition for the guard play. I think that's the best case scenario in that situation, right? Like push Falele and Voorhees to be better.
I don't like him.
You don't like Emory Jones Jr. at all? All right.
I'm not gonna say at all. I like him. But the fact that he wore 51, like,
because he's going to be a guard.
I don't care. I see 51. I see a linebacker.
Yeah,
I don't like that number. I know. Listen, he can change his number. I hope.
Well, the numbers are all kind of crazy too, right?
It is, but just that. When I first looked at that on your thumbnail, I was like, "Who is this live? Oh, that's him. Oh gosh!" But now I like him, and I do hope that he heals up. But that is an issue. Why are we drafting injured players, especially with our history, with our training staff? And I know that Steve Saunders is gone, but we have a history of guys that get injured and stay injured. So let's not even delve into that. But I hope that he does, and I hope that he does something and takes somebody's job.
Yeah, no, me too, man. Yeah, let's look at these numbers right here. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Hold on. We got some weird numbers. I haven't talked about this in depth a little bit in the video, but Stark's obviously pretty normal at 24, but like Tyler Loop, kicker, 33. Very interesting, right? Like that's a weird. Let's say Tyler Loop wins the job. How weird is that going to feel seeing 33 out there kick the ball instead of 9?
It's weird. Like this is like a college number. Like you don't do that.
It was his college number, but he's
that's
like,
what I'm saying. You only do that in college.
Yeah, I gotta keep it. Are they? Is 9 off limits?
Why would it be? He's tainted. Listen, he's tainted right now.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to debate. Like, but a kicker especially would be real messed up, right? Like if Loop comes in, he's like, "Give me 9."
Why wouldn't I would say I'm doing it to support him. I mean, it's no holds barred. They have not retired his number yet, nor will they anytime soon. So I'm your replacement. You darn right. I'm competitive. I want to be better than you are. So guess what? I'm going to take your number and try to make it my own. That's right. 3 times 3 is 9. Make it work.
Yeah, I feel that. Mike Green, 45. What do we think about that? That's a unique number too.
Jalen Ferguson.
Nah, rest in peace. Yeah.
Rest in peace, man. I thought that was weird. When he picked that number, I'm like, yeah, he's a little off, and I like that. I don't like the number, but I like that he's off a little bit. But 45 for a linebacker, an edge. But like I said, they can change these numbers. Like these aren't permanent for them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and I hope and pray. Him and Jones. Those are the only two. Green and Jones. Loop, I don't care. He's a kicker. But Green and Jones are the two that I'm looking at. Like, bro, y'all got to do better.
Yeah. And I mean, like you said, though, they could definitely change. People change their numbers all the time. We just had someone change their number today. Sanusi Kane grabbed 21.
Yep.
But yeah, I feel you. I definitely, when I first glanced at a lot of these numbers, I was like, it just feels a little off. I mean, it's just numbers. Who cares? Mike Green goes out there, gets 10 sacks this year. We're all rocking a 45 jersey. I don't care. But like it is odd, you know. I like Peebles 93. That's a good
big
number.
Big shoes to fill. Calais Campbell.
Calais, yeah. He's a lot smaller than Calais. He's a lot smaller, about half the height. But I like his explosiveness, man. I think he could bring something to the table. Wester 83. It's like a classic slot wide receiver number or something. I don't know.
Sneed.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Willie Sneed. Yeah. No.
Patrick Johnson.
Who's that?
This is way back, man.
All right.
This is 2011, 2010.
Oh, that's not. I mean, I was watching closely back then. I just don't remember that person.
But I just remember because he went to Oregon, and I don't like University of Oregon. Like he was the best wide receiver we had at the time, and he could not catch.
Yeah. Well, what else is on your mind, man? I don't have any other things that I got organized to talk about. Chat, you guys got any questions, Ravens fans? We've been on an hour, but if you want to talk about whatever else, man, let's run it.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, going into this season, the Baltimore Ravens played the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills on the road. Right now, which one of those teams is our biggest rival right now, in your opinion?
Rival from a fan base standpoint or like team?
Just team. I don't care about the fans. They're all racist.
Yeah, I was gonna say I genuinely think there's more of a fan base rivalry between the Ravens and Bills fans, but I think the Ravens team is more takes it a little more personal with the Chiefs because they've achieved so much. I think that's a bigger like player rivalry, but the fans are chirping more between Bills and Ravens. The Bills fans are disrespectful, to be honest with you. They're always in the comments. Yeah, it's crazy. But what do you think? You think the Ravens are prioritizing the Bills more?
I think so. Oh, in my opinion, I would believe so. Yes, the Chiefs are the standard in the AFC.
That's how I feel like they would like. That's who they're, and especially the year prior, like the Ravens feel like they should have been in the AFC Championship again, and I personally think they look at the Chiefs as like the team to beat, and they obviously overlooked the Bills a little bit and didn't show up. But I don't know. Personally, I just think that the Ravens players are more amped to take on the Chiefs.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I can see that. And I thought that, but then I was thinking and I was like, you know what? Yeah, the Chiefs are the Chiefs, and we beat them the one time. But the Bills have put us out the playoffs twice. The Chiefs have only put us out once, and they injured Lamar Jackson when they did it. On top of that, they stole our MVP last season. And Lamar and Josh Allen were from the same draft class. Like, it's a lot of similarities between these two teams. We are the reason that Josh Allen got his start in the first place, because Nathan Peterman was so bad against us, they had no choice but to put Josh Allen into the game. And I just think that with the way that things are going, I think that possibly, and we say this every year, the Chiefs may be on the decline, but the Bills are making moves to get better and better. And I think going forward, if the Chiefs don't get that offensive line constructed correctly, our biggest threat to the Super Bowl is going to be the Buffalo Bills, because Josh Allen is not Lamar Jackson, but he is dynamic in his own right, and he presents a problem, as we saw in the playoffs. So to me, I think the Bills right now, because the Chiefs could be on a decline. The Eagles may have shown a blueprint as to how to beat them. Their offensive line is not that great. They signed a backup from the Pittsburgh Steelers, if I'm not mistaken.
They drafted Simmons too in the first round,
who may be injured. They lost all-pro guard Joe Thuney. Like, they traded him to the Bears. So like, their offensive line isn't constructed the way that Patrick Mahomes is used to. We don't know what's going to happen with Isaiah Pacheco. He's had an injury history concern. We don't know if your boy, I can't remember his name, Rashee Rice is going to get suspended. Yeah. Like, they have a lot of things going on. That
they re-signed Hollywood too, right?
They did.
But so they got Xavier Worthy, Hollywood, and then like maybe Rashee Rice, and tight end play is definitely declining. Yeah.
So
I still think they're a threat until
no doubt
they're not, like until like I see them suck. Because even that one year that they beat us, they sucked during the regular season. Like, they weren't that good. They kind of limped into the playoffs, and then playoffs come and it's like no one can stop them again. They're winning low scoring games, like they beat us 17-10, which is still ridiculous.
Yes, I agree. But once again, I can never take anything away from a team that beat us. But in the AFC Championship game, we did ourselves dirty. Like, we went into the game and did ourselves wrong, because 1 week prior, the same Buffalo Bills that I just spoke about ran for 182 yards. 182 yards with James Cook and Josh Allen. And we decided to go into that game and say, you know what? I see you 182, and I'll raise you negative 100. I don't get it. So we beat ourselves. We could have had the same game plan that they had. And if it weren't for Tyler Bass missing that kick, I do think that the Bills were going to go into overtime and beat them. So to me, the Bills are a team on the rise. I don't like them, but I just think that the way that they're moving, the pieces that they're putting together are going to help them compete against us a lot better than maybe the Chiefs will. Because the Chiefs, you can't stay on top forever. It is hard playing each and every season to the last game. As much as they continue to do it, it takes a toll on those players. And especially in football, when you're getting hit a lot, like just going to the last game each and every season, which is making your off season even shorter, they're going to have a down year one year or another. And I think that the Bills may step up in their place. And this is a prime time, opportune time for the Ravens to say, you know what, this is our year to start the reign of the Raven.
Yeah,
so that's just my opinion.
Yeah, we can beat both of those teams. Honestly, we can beat anybody. It's too early to say this, but like we could build a dynasty if we put it all together for a few years. But yeah, I'm serious.
We should have had a dynasty.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we have the ability. Whether we're going to execute that or not, to be determined. But shout out to Asmodeus Donatos for becoming a member and for the 5. Says, what sickens me, we've never beaten Bills or Chiefs in the Lamar Jackson era in the playoffs. Yeah, pain, man. It is painful, honestly.
Yeah, I go over all that in the video.
Yeah, well, everyone go. You dropping it tomorrow?
I guess now I have to since I spoke it up. That means I'm going to be up all night.
Hey, it'll be worth it, man. Everybody here, go check out Hendo's video tomorrow on why the Ravens let Lamar Jackson down, right? Is that what the basis is?
Yeah, it's how the Ravens have failed Lamar Jackson.
All right. Yeah, everyone go run that up tomorrow, man. Look out for it. And go subscribe to the Rogue Pod. I got all the links in the description. I guess we're also live on your channel too, right?
Yeah, and I got your links in my description.
Yeah, what up?
Listen, everybody knows everybody because a lot of people watch all of the same YouTube. So it is what it is. And even if you don't support me, go out there and support somebody. Listen, there's a guy out there named the GM. He is like 60-something subscribers away from 1,000. Go over, watch his channel, help get him to 1,000. Go to Lunch Break Hot Take. Go to Coach. Let's help push him to 11,000. Like, it's so many people that I feel make dope content that don't get the recognition, and it's just because YouTube doesn't push them to a wider audience. You know, we were just talking before the stream that, you know, you hit that pocket to where now more people are starting to see you, and you're starting to open up and you're starting to grow, and you about to hit that 10,000 real soon. I know Nitro, if he hasn't hit 10,000 yet, he is really close. So let's help do the things that these other fan bases do, because I watch a lot of YouTube. And when I say I watch a lot of YouTube, I sleep about 3 or 4 hours a night because I'm on YouTube studying, looking for ideas. Like, I'm doing so many things. And I see guys out there, and applaud to anybody that gets behind a camera and decides that they want to do this. But I see guys that may not be as talented as the guys that I watch, but the support from their fan base is so tremendous. And I appreciate people supporting everybody. And I just don't think holistically all around, we all support our Ravens YouTubers like we should. Now, we don't always have to agree on everything. Like, it's cool, but just don't be disrespectful about it and just listen to what they have to say. You don't have to agree with them, but just try to find out the vantage point that they're coming from. Try to see their point of view of maybe why they think these things, because we all grew up different. So we all have different modes of thinking. We have different ways of coming to conclusions. Like me, I am not a sunshine and rainbows individual, but even if I am in certain situations, I'm also looking for alternative thoughts into how to look at certain situations. That's how I draw conclusions into things. I'm not thinking that everything is 100% good or 100% bad. I'm trying to find out a different way to bring a monologue or bring a conversation to people. And if you want to think that it's negative, you think that it's negative, but just listen to what I'm actually saying before you just like, he hates everybody. Like, he doesn't like anything. Listen to what I actually say, instead of just drawing a conclusion that, he don't like this person, he don't like that person, he don't want to collab with these people. That's not what it is at all. So all I'm asking for everyone to do is just go support people. It doesn't hurt to just hit that button, even if you don't watch them. Even if it's not me, just go hit the button, subscribe, and support people, because this is not an easy endeavor. It takes a long time to come up with a topic, to record the video, to edit the video, to put in B-roll, and to upload. It takes hours. And I'm not saying that I'm ungrateful for 500 views, but if I put in 7 hours to make a video, 500 views is a little bit insulting. And I'm grateful for the 500 that decided to watch it, but I'm just saying, like, we put a lot into this, and we're doing it just to entertain people. We're doing this to give you guys something to watch, because like I said before, I used to work for the cable company, and I've known that since I've left, and before I even left, cable was becoming a thing of the past, and people were looking towards YouTube for entertainment. So we're trying to bring entertainment to you guys. We're trying to give you guys talking points, things to think about, just something to do to pass the time, even if it's white noise in the background. So I'm just asking whomever it is, let's get these guys to these milestones. Let's get Ryan to 10,000. Let's get Nitro to 10,000. Let's get
Hendo to 10,000.
I mean, me personally, if I get there, I get there. It's called the GM. Listen, and you keep saying I'm gonna get there. I mean, I'm going to get to 10,000, but when I get there, I get there. Like, I used to be all numbers driven, like, yo, I gotta post a video, I gotta get these subscribers, like, I get subscribers. But now, to me, whenever it comes, it's gonna come. I like to see other people thrive, because I'm an old man. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm an old man. So my viewpoint is different on a lot of things, and I've had patience. I've been on this earth for 50 years. So if it takes me another 2 years to get to 10,000, it takes me another 2 years. But I want to see the guys around me succeed and thrive, because I know the work that I put in, and I see the work that they put in as well. You know what I'm saying? So I just want people to just go out there and support them, and like, yo, it don't hurt. And I know a lot of people that are from Baltimore, because I grew up in Baltimore. that they don't want to see other people succeed. And Ryan, I told you this before, I want everyone to succeed. And I'll give anybody any information, whether it helps them grow faster than me, be bigger than me. I don't care. It's all about helping people and talking football, because that's what we're here for, to talk football about a team that we love. I can say I hate the Malachi Starks pick because we didn't need a third safety, but that doesn't mean that I don't want Malachi Starks to succeed, because if he succeeds, we win games. And if we win games, we possibly win a Super Bowl. So just because I didn't like the pick doesn't mean I don't like the player and I don't want them to be successful. So, you know what I'm saying? Just go out and support whomever. Enjoy the content. Like, that's all. I'm sorry I had to go on a diatribe.
No, man. No, we're here for it. What's the GM's name?
The GM. Like, his channel's name is actually the GM. It's the GM. Let him know. Listen, let him know that you support him. And stop with all the hate in the comment section. Like, I don't personally care myself, but stop with the hate. Like, if you don't like what I say, cool. A dude told me the other day, and I thought this was hilarious to me. He said, "That's why you only get 2,000 views per video." And I'm like, that's a weird insult,
solid, though.
But I'm like, that's a weird insult.
I don't know if he's put the time in to even know what it takes to get 2K though. Like, some people look at a surface level and they're like 2K or like what. I'm like, yeah, there's a grind to get to that though. I mean, unless you just this is a niche topic, you know. So like I mean, yes, there's a lot of football fans, there's a lot of Ravens fans, but we're like niche when it comes to like sports fans is already one segment, you know, then football fans, and then the teams fans of the Ravens. Like, you're getting smaller and smaller and smaller amount of people out there. You're not going to get 1 million views on a video. Like, I haven't seen it yet. Somebody might, unless they make a documentary or something. But like,
I got 1 million views
on what?
A video. I had to delete it because YouTube.
A Ravens video?
No, it wasn't a Ravens video.
That's what I'm talking about, though. I was talking about how niche it is. You can't like get 1 million, you know what I mean? So like, even getting 2K, like, especially consistently, is a hell of an accomplishment. Like, it took me a year and a half. It just happened in the last like 7 months before I was even seeing like 2K a video. Like, it's like a decent amount, and that year and a half, you can't even just look at time. You got to look at uploads too, right? Like, I drop in that I'm on like almost 400 episodes in 2 years. Like, there's like you got to output volume. So like, just anybody starting out there, like, you got to hit it, you know. Like, you can't just be like once a month and be like, why is my channel not growing? It's like, you got to be on it. You got to be here consistently, and the more consistently you're here, the more value you're going to bring. People are going to rock with you.
Facts. I used to work for Comcast. I was not a contractor. I did 18 years for the cable company, but I can't remember the guy's name. He's a guy with glasses and a ponytail. He said, listen, when it comes to YouTube, it doesn't matter what you do. They like to tell you quality over quantity, but to me, you get quality when you do the quantity, because you get better the more that you do. But he said the more videos that you put out there, the more soldiers you have fighting to get you viewers, fighting to get you subscribers, fighting to get you people to your business. So yeah, you have to be consistent and you have to put out videos. I personally, I'm not really that consistent because life be lifing. And like I said, I'm old. Like, right now is normally my nap time. Like, after I get off work, I normally take a nap. But I know I have to get better. But I do get discouraged. I'm not going to lie to you. I do get discouraged because I put a lot of time and effort in my videos, and I try to do things a little bit different and add little special effects to things that a lot of people in this niche aren't doing. And when I don't see the fruits of my labor, I just say, what the hell am I doing this for? I mean, I do special effects, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, one time I disappeared and landed in I just do a lot of different things. But to do all of that work and just not to see the fruits of your labor, like, I get discouraged sometimes, and then I'll get a rush of energy and I'm back at it. But yeah, you know, you have to be consistent with what you do. And I tell anybody in the chat, if you ever have a question about YouTube that I can answer, or if it's about the business of YouTube outside, I'll answer anything, because I'm just a funnel to help people, because I want everybody can win at YouTube. There is no competition, especially in a Raven space. It's no competition because you can watch everybody. You don't have to say, I can't watch him because I watch him. No, we all can get it popping. Oh,
what was the video? What kind of video did you have to delete? You said it wasn't a Ravens video that got a milli.
What was her name? Femke Bowl. When she went out there in the Olympics, she went out and ran this race that she won and came, and she ran a race and she fell. And then the next race she came in and she won. And it was Memorial Day 3 years ago. No, my channel's only 3 years old. Yeah, about 3 years ago, Memorial Day. And I'm like, I haven't uploaded anything in days. And I just made this 4-minute video and uploaded it to YouTube. And in 2-3 days, it had like 800,000 views and it got to 1 million. And YouTube said, I'm not paying you that money.
Mm-hmm.
Demonetized. And I said, what the fudge cookie? So I had to delete that video. But that video got me 1,000 subscribers. I just wish I could have saw the money that came along with those views. What's up, Darcy?
That would be crazy. Well, yeah, that would be crazy, man. Yeah. Well, anything else on your mind, bro? Should we get out of here?
Nah, that's better. We've been here for an hour. Unless the people have a question that they would like for us to answer. I see somebody that says they're a Dallas Cowboys fan. I want to say from the bottom of my heart, and I really do mean this, I apologize.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I mean, I just apologize that you're.
Oh, yeah, Pickens. Yeah, okay. A little shake up in the North, right? I mean, the Steelers are definitely getting worse. I feel like I said it in my video today. I have a little theory that they because the draft's in Pittsburgh next year, and they have a ton of draft picks now. I think they have 12 stacked up. They look like the Ravens. And I feel like unless Rodgers comes, in that theory kind of goes out the window because then they're going to be average. But like if they roll with a Mason Rudolph, Will Howard at QB, aren't they kind of like tanking a little bit for a top 10 pick next year at their own draft where they draft their franchise quarterback in Pittsburgh? I don't know. It just seems like a good story.
No, they are tanking. Like if you look at it, listen, you don't have to be the biggest Najee Harris fan, but he's the only running back in the league that has had 1,000 yards for the last 3 seasons. The only one. And you downgrade that position. You trade George Pickens. Yes, you get a DK Metcalf. And to me personally, I like DK, but I think DK, as far as his route tree is concerned, is a little more limited than George Pickens. I think George Pickens has a bigger catch radius. I know he's a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I think that he, if tamed and with a proper quarterback, will give you more. I think he'll give you more. So, yeah, I mean, them when they first said that they were waiting on Aaron Rodgers, a guy that went to the New York Jets that had Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, and a top 5 defense and crap the bed up there. What do you think he's going to do when he comes to an Arthur Smith run offense in Pittsburgh? So they're tanking. I guess they're trying to go for a quarterback. Next year's class is supposed to be a lot better. But my thing is, tank for what? You should, unless you're getting a new head coach, because what you should be doing is building a winning tradition. You should be saying, listen, no matter what's happening, we're going to bring the best players in here that we can and build that winning tradition. And guess what? You have 12 draft picks. If need be, trade up and get the guy that you're actually looking for. Don't tank for anybody, because now you're building that losing culture, that losing mentality. And a lot of your star guys are going to be like, I'm not here for this, and may want to exit stage left. So I'm glad for it because, listen, the Baltimore Ravens are going to make history this season. We're going to be the first team in the AFC North to win the division 3 times in a row. So I'm glad for it. Cincinnati has no defense. Cleveland is Cleveland. Pittsburgh is just my brother's favorite team, so they're not any good. Baltimore Ravens, we got, number 1 seed, Super Bowl, all those good things. Lamar Jackson, MVP, and Super Bowl MVP.
Let's go. Let's run it. Somebody did ask you a question. Abdi.
What's up?
Says, do we get a chance to get Jalen Ramsey?
Speaking to your point, Ryan, about being concerned about that other outside corner, we have a very valid chance. I think the sticking point is going to be money. The Ravens are now currently $7.5 million under the salary cap. I think if the Dolphins decide that they're going to eat some of that salary, because he just signed a brand new contract, I think if they can do some things and finagle it to where that it won't hit the Ravens that hard, I do believe that the Ravens are extremely interested in getting Jalen Ramsey because they know they have an issue with that other outside corner slot, and that may be a problem. We don't want to see a repeat of Brandon Stevens 2.0.
Yeah. I think it's a possibility for sure. I definitely if I had to put money on it, I'd say we don't make that aggressive move, but I wouldn't mind it.
Why would we not? Listen, a couple years ago.
Isn't what you said?
But a couple years ago, we wanted, I can't remember who we wanted to give. We wanted some offensive player. And Ravens fans were saying, well, we are $3 million under the cap, or right at the cap. We can't afford to go out here and get somebody else. Hey, Xavier Howard became available with a $15 million cap hit. The Ravens tried everything in their power to get Xavier Howard. We didn't have any money 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and we went out and tried to get Darius Slay. We didn't have money then, but when it comes to the cornerback position, this is the one position that I know for a fact the Baltimore Ravens don't want to get stuck in the mud with. When we had those issues with Jimmy Smith and we had to play Frank Walker and we had to play Rashawn Melvin and all those guys, that I went to his house after the playoff game to fix his cable. It was not. Really? I was staring at him. I'm fixing the cable, just looking at him like this.
Yeah, you didn't bring it up.
I'm professional. Like when I go to
I was
work,
gonna say it is unprofessional. Yeah,
but I was giving them the looks like you gave up 215 yards by yourself. I hate you. But I think that the Ravens don't want to be stuck in that position again. So that's why I think we keep overdrafting the position. And if they can bring in a former All-Pro player, I think that they'll try every avenue that they can to bring him in, because that is the one position that I know for a fact they don't want to be caught slipping in.
Yeah, no, I'm all for it. I think they were so aggressive trying to get a corner before Wiggins, so I don't know if that changes. Like, but Marlon could be gone too. So I mean, regardless, you got to keep refilling the pipeline. Not that Ramsey's a long-term option, but it's definitely a win now aggressive move. Shoot, we get Jalen Ramsey, man. We are as stacked as we could be on defense.
We would hope. Because we said that before last season, and we saw how that turned out. Because before last season,
Eddie Jackson and Marcus Williams were going to be awful. Like that was as bad as it could have been.
Even before last season, I was like, best defensive backfield in the NFL, and we ain't number 2. I was even singing the tune, like we're gonna shut everything down.
I thought so too. Well, Brandon Stevens was a little bit of a letdown, right? Because the previous year he was our number 1 corner. Like Marlon was hurt. Stevens was out there on the number 1 defense, him and Ronald Darby, and they were playing incredible. Yeah. So like I thought, with Wiggins, with Humphrey, a healthy Humphrey, Brandon Stevens, I was like, okay, yeah, we're chilling. Like Marcus Williams, and then it was just a huge drop off from a variety of guys. So I don't see that happening, because like I don't know who would be the regressor. Like I'm confident in Wiggins. I'm confident in Marlon in the slot, at least. I'm confident in Kyle or Darius. We'll see what we got with Malachi Starks, but I mean, should be solid. So like I don't know. And second year Zach Orr, think he's probably feeling a little bit more comfortable. I think there was some uneasiness for him to like disrupt the roster early on last year, when his first year as a defensive coordinator. He's coming in and he's like got some safety issues, because like a few weeks in, you're like, okay, like Marcus Williams and Eddie Jackson, this ain't it. You know what I mean? And it took half a season to like fully switch everything. So I think we'll see more complete defense from start to finish this year.
I hope so. I mean, but one thing that we had to knock wood on is, for the past few seasons, we've been very healthy.
I didn't even want to bring that up. I did think about that like yesterday. I was like, man, because the 2 years prior to these last 2 years, when we had a ton of injuries, like JK was getting hurt a lot. Marcus Peters, Lamar didn't finish the season 2 straight years. Like that was depressing, because at that point you're done. You know what I mean? Like there's not much you can do when you're losing your franchise quarterback and like a chunk of starters. And these last 2 years we have been healthy, which makes it even a little bit more painful that we didn't get the job done. But I'm praying for health. I'm always praying for health. We can't not be healthy. But all right, let's get out of here. Appreciate you coming on, man. Appreciate everybody tuning in. It's fun. It's fun going live like this. We got to do it more often. I'm going live like once a week, so you can come back on a few weeks or whenever there's something going on, whenever you want, man.
You just ask me, I'm down.
All right. Sounds good, man. Well, all right. Appreciate all you guys. Thanks for tuning in to a live episode of the Flock Rundown and Rogue Pod, simultaneously streaming. But I'll let the greatest linebacker in the history of the game take us out. Have a good night, guys.
Ravens Flock. The Flock Rundown is the place to be.
Motionless brainwaves attempt to swim their way to sense, can't tame the untamed.